Hello and welcome back to Dungeons and Dragons, Planescape, Torment, the Enhanced Edition. When we last left off, we found out we were really not a good person.
Alright.
But we did manage to find out more about Dionardra. And we promised her father if we found out something, we'd tell him. So, let's talk to Splinter here. Splinter regards you coolly as ever as you approach. We welcome you once more to Civic Fest Hall, Traveler. How may we help you? I got some questions. We'd be pleased to answer what questions you have, so long as it pertains to the Fest Hall as Society of Sensation. Wanted to ask you something. There's little to say that we have not told you. We are Splinter, Dorman, blah 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 blah. I see. Okay, never mind.
All right.
That's the house I want to go to. Odd iron bars seem to serve as decoration rather than a security measure. Well, yeah, because it's just sort of there.
Done.
I see you, Giannis. He turns to enter and fixes you with a tired gaze. There's dark sacks beneath his eyes. Looks as if he has not been sleeping. Greetings, Giannis. You again. Giannis frowns slightly and stares at you. What does he want this time? I have some questions for you. Very well. What can I help you with? Giannis, there's a sensory stone in the sensorium that contains a fragment of your daughter's experiences. His eyes blaze with hope. There is? But in which one? You must tell me. It's in one of the sensate sensory stones. If you are not a sensate, you could not gain access. Thanks for a moment. I must find a way. Perhaps they would make an exception for her father. Could help for a price. No. If you wanted, I could speak to someone. I'm certain they would make an exception in your case. Absolutely.
Updated my journal.
Giannis looks relieved. If you could, I would be most grateful. I'll go settle the matter shortly. Now in Sensory Stone, she left a legacy number for me. Ah, Giannis nods. It seems you spoke true. My daughter was known to you then. He sighs. Hold a moment, I'll see what has left you. I will wait.
Updated my journal.
All the articles are accounted for. Giannis holding 3 scrolls in his hands. I have no idea she had established legacy here. Staring at the items, almost hypnotized. Here you are. If I may I read them, sir? Yeah, of course. Here you are. Giannis takes a scroll and studies it. Long silence, and he slowly looks up at you. You meant very much to my daughter. She was willing to give her life up to you. I believe that was the case.
Updated my journal.
Giannis hands scroll back to you. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your kindness. Well, I mourn for the loss of your daughter. I hope her words gave some comfort. Farewell.
In knowing the teachings of Zerthamon, I have become stronger.
Good.
My blade has changed.
Oh! Dakon's weapon has changed. Nice. The Streaming Blade. Enchanted to +2. Doubles all first level magic spells. Memorize an additional second level spell. Of the Gisrathi home planet Limbo. Solid Manner is something of rarity. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. It's You're not that high of a mage level, are you? Yeah, mage 7, so I'm not going to give you Patience Bolt. Yeah, Submerge the Will. I'll give you one of those. Yeah, okay, another one of those. I'll just give you a couple more Rains of Anger. And do I want a power of 1 or another ice? Power of 1 sounds fine. Maximum there. You need some 4th level spells. How are all my stuff doing? Ooh, I can get another one of these. Yeah, you know what? I think I might want another knock. You never know. Ooh, another 1st level spell. Finally. Seeking Flames grants all enemy targets -1 attack and -1 of their saving throws for 30 seconds. You know what? Why not? Anyway, let's go and see if we can't help E on this. Charisma 18. Oh. Yeah, we also got some Inar's Legacy. My love, you're reading this, and the tragedy I've seen has come to pass. I have died, and you have remained to suffer the loss. Know this, my love. I know why you were forced to shield your feelings from me. Sought to protect me from the terrible burden you carry with you. The distance you've kept between us was your way of protecting me, and the brief moments when we were alone, you let your feelings be known. That's when I knew you cared for me. Carry no regrets with you. Carry no guilt, for I came with you on your haunted journey on my own accord. No matter how death came for me, I know that you did everything in your power to save me. Our lives are intertwined, my love, and death shall not be a wall between us. For my sight has seen what is to come, and only in staccato segments, but it is enough for me to know that we will be separated for a time, but we shall be reconciled again. Thus do not see my death as a farewell, but only as an interval before we meet again. Carry my ring with you, and these other pieces of me, and think of me. Keep me in the mind and heart, and that will be a beacon which brings us together, forever. Dianara. Yep. Dianara's wedding ring, only usable by us, +1 to saving throws, +1 to armor class, and +3 to armor class versus piercing. Nice. Cyber ring was part of Dianara's legacy. Radiates a slight glow, and though it is cold to the touch, the chill is strangely comforting. The ivory band stretches to fill the width of any finger. Among the many secrets of the Society of Sensation is the ability to shape a peculiar stone from Elysium, dubbed Soul Stone. While this stone is not as powerful as sensory stones, the Soul Stone is said to carry an imprint of the shape of feelings. These rings are often used in sensate marriage ceremonies, each ring inscribed with the feelings of the other. The ring is obviously intended for you. When wearing Dianara's ring, you gain additional protection from all attacks, and additional protection from many piercing attacks. Presumably the ring's purpose is to shield the heart from shock and trauma, and this extends to any physical pain that the wearer suffers as well. Well, we are definitely going to upgrade ourselves with that. 33 hit points, not bad. Tissue-thin Velium scroll is part of Dianara's legacy. The scroll is neatly rolled and wrapped with a red ribbon. When the ribbon is opened, the healing magic contained in the scroll is released. The scroll will heal even the most critical of wounds and disintegrates into powder when used. Useful. Let's see. Twisted Ring, +1 to armor class. Ring of the Traveler does the same thing. +3 versus save versus poison. You know what? Might as well. More armor class, the better. Because you can't use rings. Yeah, what level are you again? Level 7. Alright, I think it's a bit longer before you can level up your teeth.
Alright.
I had some questions. There's a man, Giannis, who I was hoping you would grant temporary access to his the private sensorium. And for what reason would we allow such thing? Because one of the stones there contains a fragment of his daughter's experiences. She died far from home and not having seen him in the long wild, and he mourns for her loss deeply.
Updated my journal.
Splinter nods and thinks for a moment, then nods again. Yes, we shall allow Giannis to enter the private sensorium. Well escorted, of course. You may tell him that he has permission. My thanks. Farewell, Splinter. You're not as cool as a karate knowing rat, but hey, you're okay. Did Splinter know karate? I mean, I'd imagine so. I know he knew ninjutsu because that's the whole purpose of the cartoon and comic books. Well, comic books and cartoon.
Alright.
I mean, I imagine so. It's a... So yeah, just turns says you enter, her eyes light up hopefully. At last! You're able to convince them to grant me access to Sensorium? Yes, they have agreed to give you access to your daughter's sensory stone. I thank you, good sir. I thank you. I'm in your debt. It was no trouble, Giannis. Please, go see the experiences of your daughter. I think they might ease your trouble.
Updated my journal.
Yay! More XP! I'm actually not doing too bad. So Giannis turns, eyes fixed tight to gaze, not been sleeping. Greetings, Giannis. What do you want this time? Had some questions. Can you tell me about the fire? Any luck locating the person responsible? No, neither the Harmonium nor the Mercenaries had any fortune in locating the person responsible. Tell me what was burned. Other legacies only of value of me. Anything like Gusman contracts. I think there is a way for you to admit that you're probably at fault for the fires, because you kind of goaded Ignis to it, but maybe I'd have to have like Ignis in my party, and I'd rather not. Okay, I'm gonna pause here and figure out what other quests I can do here. Okay, I think there's some more stuff we can do in the Sensate area. Or I could get my next party member, but yeah, should get my next party member. Can't make anything through the tinted glass. Yep. Heck with it. Let's get our next party member. To the brothel!
Done.
Enjoy your stay with us. Before you is a stunning golden-haired woman dressed in an azure and violet dress with two long, elegant wings draped across her shoulders. She's surveying the room with a slight smile. She is easily the most beautiful woman you have ever seen. Greetings?
Well met, traveler. How may I help you?
The woman turns to you, address her. She takes your measure, then nods slightly. Notice her eyes are azure, the exact same color as your dress. Well met, traveler. She reaches up to brush back a stray lock of golden hair. How may I help you? Who are you?
Updated my journal.
I am called Fall from Grace. She studies you for a moment. You are new to Sigil, are you not? Well, let's see here. To be honest, I don't think we're exactly new here, but let's see the best way for us to go through this. One sec. Okay. Well, at least this incarnation is, Yes, I am. Does it show? Smile slightly. Not as much as you might think. You carry yourself quite well. What is this place? This is the brothel of slatting intellectual lust. She studies you for a moment. I take it by your question, you did not intend to partake of this establishment. Brothel of slating intellectual lusts. What kind of brothel is this? I established this brothel to give those of lustful fevers that strike the mind more avenues of expression rather than the simply carnal. Much pleasure can be had in the conversation and engaging in the verbal arts with others. Oh, cool. Sounds dull. I assure you it is not. Tour the brothel. See for yourself. Have to ask, why did you establish such a place? Fall from Grace raised an eyebrow. That is an odd question, she frowns. I don't think anyone has ever asked me that, at least directly. My apologies, Lady Grace. I did not mean to be so direct. I was merely curious. Oh, no apologies are necessary. I'm more than happy to discuss the reasons with you, if you wish. I'd like to hear them, yes. Part of the answer to your question requires that you know that I'm a member of the Society of Sensation. Our faction believes that one should experience as much of the multiverse as possible. And that's why you've established this place. This brothel is intended to slate the lust of even the most hardened intellectual. It is designed to stimulate the mind, to heighten one's awareness of themselves and others, to create new ways of experiencing another person. It is for those who seek to something more than the shallow physical pleasures that fill the hive and lower wards. I see, so this establishment just encourages intellectual fencing rather than, well, other kinds of fencing. Women here must be special indeed. The women here are aspiring sensates. They have come to me in search of instruction to prepare themselves for entering the faction. Also, many of them have a natural grasp of language and can shatter the crust of the most hardened individuals. I see, so the ladies here are ladies in training, so to speak. Yes, I hope that by learning the art of language and its subtleties that the patrons and the students here may learn more about themselves. One is only as limited as their command of the language. To be able to employ language to evoke emotions in others is a tremendous skill. I see. Can I ask you some other questions? Yes? Like to join me on our travels? Yes. If I may ask, Lady Grace, the wings on your back, you're not human, I take it. She is one of the fiends, one of the succubi she is. She'll take your measure, then she'll take your soul to the lower planes, so she will. Your companion is correct. I am a lesser Tanari. More specifically, a succubus. She gives a soft sigh. I'm afraid we're a little too common in lower planes and elsewhere for our own good. Most of my race spend their time seducing mortals with various pleasures of the flesh. And you?
Updated my journal.
I'd like to think that I have distanced myself from that. It is ultimately a trivial and non-productive way for one to spend one's time here in the multiverse. There's so much more to life, wouldn't you agree? Perhaps so. Can I ask you some other questions? Yes? Well, we heard about this place. Came looking for help. Perhaps you can help me. Help? What kind of help were you looking for? I seem to have lost my memories. In so doing, I've lost myself. You have been stricken with amnesia? Fall from Grace looks pained. How terrible. Do you have any idea how it happened? Not really, at least not that I can remember. I woke up on a slab in the mortuary. Everything else before that is black. You woke in the mortuary? I think the dustman mistook me for being dead. Or I was dead. Or something. All I know is I regenerate wounds quickly. I could be immortal, but I don't even know that for sure. Fall from Gaze seems to be appraising you with renewed interest. Those scars on your body. She reaches out a hand as if to touch it. May I? Yes. Fall from Graces drags her finger across your chest lightly, tracing the edges of your scars and following the curves where they blend into some of your tattoos. Seems fascinating. These scars do look as if they would take several lifetimes to accumulate. They certainly do, although some are more recent. Fall from Grace steps back. Some of those wounds would have been fatal to a normal man. She taps her chin, thinking, what do you intend to do now? I need to get my memories and my life back. I intend to scour the plains and search inside myself until I can piece together who I am and what brought me to this state. Fall from Grace is still thinking, her fingers tapping on chin. I must say, I've never met a man who has lost himself in the literal sense. She raised her eyebrow. Forgive me, but your condition is intriguing. It is that. Fall from Grace nods. If it will help, you are welcome to tour the brothel. Several of our students are well versed in the verbal arts. Perhaps some of them will be able to rekindle your memories. I may do that. Can I ask you some questions
Updated
first?
my journal.
Yes? Can you tell me about the sensates? Sensates are the faction sigil devoted to experience. Without experience, without sensation, we are blind to much of the multiverse. Thus, sensates seek to experience much as possible. When all is experienced, then the truth of the multiverse shall reveal itself. I see. Can I ask you some other questions? Yes? Have you ever heard of a night hag named Ravel? I'm not familiar with the name. Fall from Grace pauses and thinks for a moment. Rumors cluster thickly about that name. Most tend to discount her as myth, but I suspect she did exist and that made quite an impression in the cage during her stay here. He looks puzzled. Why do you ask? I intend to seek her out. Grace raises an eyebrow. Truly, I find myself compelled to ask why. I need information she has. The information available from no one else? I suspect only Ravel possesses the knowledge I need.
Updated my journal.
Grace rests her hands lightly on your arm. Consider this. If Ravel does indeed exist, then she is extremely powerful and cunning. If a fraction of the stories of her activities are true, she is a creature that has discovered new meanings of evil. To search for her is not a quest to be undertaken lightly. I realize that. You know anything else about Ravel? She is said to be one of the hags of the Grey Waste, and that she is believed to possess powers and a cunning far beyond those of her sisters. She came to Sigil long ago. In addition to the evils she committed during her stay, rumor has it that her actions threaten the cage itself. Now she primarily exists only as a fiction, a figure in children's story. Grace pauses. I imagine the Lady of Pain dealt with her as all threats of Sigil are dealt with. What is the Grey Waste?
Updated my journal.
A blighted pain that lies effectively between Baator and the Abyss. It is frequently a battleground in the Blood War. You know what happened to Ravel? Ravel was most likely sent to a mage, one of the lady's prisons. Mazes, what are those? You've been to a maze. Anyone else that might know anything about her? Someone in the festival might know more about her. Okay. Can I ask you other questions?
Updated my journal.
Yes? Would you like to join me in my travels? Amma stiffens, then starts muttering about, who's to say she'll be coming with us? We don't need the likes of her, so's we don't. Bar that fiendling, Mort clicks his teeth together. I'm all for the succubus coming with us. The powers know you're about as fun as passing a caltrop through your bowels. You best latch your bone box skull, or I'll rattle you so hard they'll be picking your teeth off the spire. Travel with you. Fall from Grace smiles slightly. She seems to be ignoring her companions. That's rather forward of you. Well, let's see here. Well, you're a sensate. Surely there must be a limit to how much you can learn here. I think you'd be surprised. If you want me to accompany you on your travels, I'll need a far more compelling reason than that. You mean you wouldn't be interested in traveling with an immortal amnesiac who is searching the plains for himself? Oh, I would be extremely interested, she smiled slightly. Such a suggestion is intriguing, make no mistake about that. Then you would like to travel with me, then? If you wish me to, then there is something you must do for me. There are 10 students in this establishment. I'd like you to speak to all of them. When you return to me with your thoughts, then we shall see if we can travel together or not. Very well. I will go speak to them then, and I will return when I've spoken to all of them.
Updated my journal.
So, here comes the next quest. Starting to talk to everybody. Fun times. Have a good one, folks.